Hey, you guys, I'm Baleen. Everyone calls me B or Bay. I'm going to tell you a story about how I found out that the person I was dating was actually the person who anonymously stalked and harassed me for 3 years. Buckle up. I do want to provide you guys with some context that matter while I am telling this story. So let's start with a couple of things. All of my degrees are in liberal arts fields. Okay, my first degree was in journalism and mass communication. Second degree, communications. Third degree was in professional communication and digital media. Okay, just gonna put that out there. Okay, my ex major was in computer science, technology, whatever the case may be. So, very tech person with a very artsy person. It happens. It's very common, actually. I was 18, 19 when everything started. So I was very young, all I wanted to do was have fun. I had a sense of freedom and I wanted to take control of that. Okay? Let's paint that. I'm not saying I got around, but you might as well call me the Metro Bus because I had stops everywhere. Okay? At the time, I was in Florida. Okay? And I am and will always be a daddy's girl. All this information is very important when I start to tell this story. So let's begin. Okay, so we met my second or third semester in undergrad. We had an English class together. We're going to call him Brian. We're going to give him a brand new name. We're going to call him Brian. Okay. Brian and I were in an English class together, and he came to me and asked for my phone number because he was going out of state with family to New York, and he wanted to make sure that he did not miss or needed to make up any assignments, basically. And I'm like, I mean, sure. You're kind of cute anyway. So yeah, let's do that. We exchanged numbers. A week and a half later, he reaches out and he says, hey, what did I miss? What's due? So I gave him all the information. Now, all that started a relationship that wasn't really a relationship because I was just young, trying to have fun. I mean, our first time was in the back of his mama's car. Okay. I'm just gonna paint that picture. It wasn't something that was serious, but it was serious enough that we were, like we liked each other. Okay. Then my last semester approached and we ended things cordially, I think. Maybe I'm misinterpreting how it ended, but I think it ended cordially. So I got my associate's degree and I went to another school, university. Very common in Florida. That's exactly what I did. Okay. So my first semester at this new university, I was dating somebody new. It did not work. He cheated. That's most men in Miami. Okay. And so winter 2015, obviously I stay on campus. I stay at my dorm and I'm just going through my Rolodex. I'm like, it's cold out here. Not really. It's Florida. But I'm like, I need somebody to, So I arranged a little rendezvous with this one person. It was very nice. Very, very exactly what I needed. Now, winter break was about 2-3 weeks. On the third week, Brian and I connected again. Okay. We connected, stayed over. I had left to go use the restroom. My phone was left. I came back and we chilled for a little bit more and he left. So I'm like, oh, okay. That was nice. Honest to goodness, I did not expect to see Brian ever again. Okay. Did not. 2016, spring 2016, I bump into Brian. Okay. I'm walking to class and I see him and I'm like, what are you doing here? It's like, I go here. It's like, they don't really have a good computer science, technology, whatever program. But I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, like, that's cool. A couple weeks after that, him and I are texting on and off. A couple weeks after that, I started getting weird messages on Twitter, like mentions and replies on Twitter. on top of a weird question. So back in those days, we used to have Ask FM. So people would ask anonymous questions and it was linked to your Twitter account. And so whenever you answer them, it would go straight. Y'all know what I'm talking about. People who are old enough, y'all know what I'm talking about. After those messages started, then the text messages to my phone started. Now that was an issue for me. Initially, I thought, whatever, nothing of it. I'm still out having fun. Okay. I am young, dumb, and using protection, not full of cum. Okay. Be smart, y'all. Be smart, be smart, be smart. So the Twitter messages started getting worse. So I started blocking these accounts on Twitter. Then the messages on Ask FM were getting worse. And so I stopped using Ask FM. I'm like, I'm not about to make this person have access to me. At this point, the messages to my phone are getting a little bit worse. And the messages in nature are things like, you're a whore, you're a slut, or why you let that man come to your crib. I'm like, how do you know these things? This is very freaking weird. Oh, I saw you at blank. Like, it was just too much, okay? Then the messages started on GroupMe. And this is where I literally started losing my shit. Every time I would leave a place, I would get a text message. Every time someone would leave me, my little Rolodex, I would get a message that this person was talking about me in a GroupMe. And I would have screenshots sent to me. It's like, this is the type of person you want to be with. Really sowing seeds of doubt and mistrust that I would be texting these people and be cussing them out. Like, you ain't shit, you trash, because I'm believing this anonymous number only because I don't know who the fuck is doing it. Now, I initially thought it was the person I had that rendezvous with, because now at this point, this person was sending pictures, my pictures, to almost everybody in my GroupMe contacts. Okay? I was so embarrassed, ashamed, fucking terrified, confused. Like, so many things were going in my head. So I said, fuck this. I'm filing a police report. I go to the police on campus and I told them someone is harassing me. I don't know who it is. I'm getting these text messages. I'm getting these messages on Twitter. I screenshotted everything and I presented the case to the police officer. They took everything, they created a case, but they could not do anything because there was no one to press charges on. I said, I could give you my phone. Please, is there anything you can do for me? Please, just anything. No, there was nothing. I was at my absolute lowest. I was so depressed. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't even want to leave my fucking dorm. And at my absolute lowest, guess who fucking texted me? Brian. Brian texted me, and I'm like, this guy's a good guy. Like, this is a miracle. So he reaches out to me, he's talking to me, and he's being sweet. Like, oh my gosh. That's when it all starts. Some things I want to clarify in this video that I didn't have a chance to clarify in the last video because of time. 10 minutes. I never thought I would make a 10-minute video, but here are some things I need to clarify. I was blocking the text messages I was getting, obviously, but text free, text me, Hotwire, Haywire, whatever the case may be, those apps existed and they still exist, where all you have to do is just create a new number. Get a new number, get a new number, get a new number. So no matter how many times I would block the message or the person, I would get a brand new number texting me. Lastly, the messages I would be getting when a person left my dorm, And it wasn't a whole bunch of people, y'all. I don't want y'all thinking that I was some hoe, okay? It's not a hoe. The messages I was receiving were screenshots of a group me, like group message or whatever, but it would be like cropped to just be that person only, and basically a message like what they said in the group chat, and it would say stuff like, "Oh, Baleen is so easy. All you got to do is blank." And that's the reason why I would be texting these people like, "Oh, you're trash. Like, why the fuck would you blah, blah, blah." And I would send them the screenshot that I had, and they'd be like, "This isn't even me. Like, where are you getting this shit from?" So now I have these people thinking I'm fucking crazy, right? They think I'm nuts, but I don't believe them, because who's gonna fucking create a fake ass screenshot? Who would do that? Right, right. Okay, you guys, as promised, part 2 of how I found out the person I was dating was my stalker. Spring 2016, we dated, and we dated up until fall 2016, okay? And it did not occur to me at all while we were dating that the messages and the Twitter mentions and all this other stuff had stopped. It didn't hit me at all. I was living in pure bliss. I'm like, this guy is amazing. He is so understanding. Like, oh my gosh. There were things that were off about him, obviously, but I just thought, the world of him. Spring 2017, him and I were still together. Along that semester, him and I did break up. Now, I don't remember what the reason was, but it was an actual breakup, and we needed space, all this good jazz. I wanted freedom, and I thought, this guy just isn't romantic enough for me. That's basically what went on in my head. I say, let's be friends. And that's what I thought we were. I thought we were friends. So going into the summer, him and I would text here and there, on and off. We would see each other. Like, we would go work out sometimes together, go to the park, et cetera, et cetera. And I thought that's what friends do, honestly. I was texting this one person in particular. He and we weren't together, but I wanted to see what was going to go on. About 2-3 weeks after he and I started texting, a Twitter account started. And this Twitter account had as their profile picture one of my pictures. And they were harassing me. And anyone who would respond to any of my tweets that were male, they would bother them and say and call me everything but a child of God. So I blocked the account, reported it. Hey, whatever, okay? The guy and I were talking, and the same thing that happened in the past where I was getting screenshots of what they were saying, blah, 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 rinse and repeat, it happened once again. And I was like, what the fuck? Now, I don't really know this guy. And these messages are very convincing. So what do? The same thing I did last time. I cussed this, this man out, this poor guy, I cussed him out. Him and I were in the same organization as well. So like it made it very awkward when we had certain type of meetings, because I'm like, oh, you trifling, you in on making my life miserable. Like you're in it on with all these people. Again, I thought it was the person that I had this wrong.
Same app to harass you? Are they using the same photos as well? I'm just really confused on why she would think it was the same person, even though she was getting harassed like this before she met this guy.
When you stay low key, keep to yourself, you don't have these type of situations. That's the only, listen, it's all about what can we learn from this situation. I'm not judging her. Yeah, I'm just side-eyeing the fact that certain things that she admitting to is just kind of crazy.
With y'all, I did not suspect anyone else, because in the screenshot, they showed the person I had a rendezvous with saying stuff as if he was orchestrating everything. And so I'm like, it's him. It has to be him. It has to be him. Like, oh my gosh. So that summer, I just didn't date really. I was on some hot girl shit for real. And yeah, like I was like, fuck this. I'm just gonna flirt and I'm gonna mind my business. But I had literally lost all my confidence because who would want to be with someone who has all these issues? You know what I mean? Like I just was not feeling myself for real. Now, all throughout the summer, him and I, we are still texting. Okay, we're still friends. We talk at the end of the summer and we decide to try this again. All right. Fall 2017 was probably the worst semester of my life. That semester, my father passed away. And I was heartbroken. I found out I was in the middle of the bar that was on campus. I broke down, cried. He was with me. He drove me home. I told my mother. My mother was delusional, and that's a story for another day. And I didn't want to be around anybody. During that time, I thought he was going to come with me to my father's funeral. And he was like, no, I have an exam the day before. Like, what does an exam the day before have to do with you driving down or driving up to my father's funeral? That doesn't make any sense. So we argued and then we broke up. And I high-key gave him an ultimatum. I was like, I don't want to be with you. Like, period. If you don't come, we're not together. And was that right? No, and I don't give a fuck. I still don't give a fuck to this day. I don't fucking care. He brought his ass though. He did. Brian came. Brian definitely came. That was the same semester that I graduated. All these things happened, but I'm going to be honest, it was the beginning of the end because I was always playing in the back of my mind how he literally told me he was going to be there for me at a very important time of my life. I graduate, first person to graduate in my family, very, very, very excited. I was still going to campus, and so I would ride with him. So fall 2017, spring 2018, I was still going to campus because I was trying to get recommendation letters. I was trying to do a lot of stuff and also a bit of counseling because I didn't know what I wanted to do after graduation. Should I go straight to grad school? Should I build experience? I didn't know what to do. So I would ride with him from Miami to our campus. That's literally what I would do. And every morning he made me feel like shit. I'm gonna tell you guys why. You see my personality? I am like this 24/7. I cannot turn it off. So imagine, first thing in the morning, I get in the car and I'm like, hey, good morning. And I'm talking. And I understand how annoying that could be. So I started toning it down. And I just started trying to talk to him like, so how did you sleep last night? Are you excited about today? Did you study? Just trying to talk, period. And he would give me nothing. And then he said something along the lines of, you're too much in the morning and I wish you would just shut whatever. Yeah, that's not going to work for me. So spring 2018, he and I broke up, got back together, broke up, got back together. It was basically on and off a little bit for that whole entire year until we were completely off. Okay. So I decided we can be friends. But we can't work. It will never work. Okay. It just won't work. I took some time off. I was once again a hot girl. I spent a lot of time that summer, fall, having a ball. Okay. Literally. Okay, I wasn't a metro bus, but I was still, having fun. And I decided probably 3-4 months after he and I broke up that, okay, let me see what's out there. And I began downloading dating apps. Tinder, OkCupid, Hinge. I just wanted to see what was out there. Okay, so I downloaded these apps and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna find some love. A week into me starting an account on these dating apps, I started getting a lot of text messages saying, here is the code to log in. Here is the code to reset your password. And I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not doing that. So I would go log in and sure enough, my account would be like locked because someone's trying to get in. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? At first, I thought the app was glitching because I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? But then the guys that I met on there would text me and say, who do you have playing on my phone? I'm like, what do you mean? And then they would send me screenshots of this anonymous number texting them crazy shit, saying to leave me alone, or I was this, I was that, everything but a child of God. Nobody wanted to date me. So I got off those fucking apps. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm about to be single for the rest of my life. Now, here I am again at my lowest. And Brian reaches out to me. And I literally texted him, I said, I really don't want to speak to you right now. I don't think he was expecting that. I was like, I'm not in a good space. I don't want to speak to you. Do you want me to come visit? He lives 12 blocks away. I said, no, I actually don't. Please leave me alone. I think that is when I really pissed him off.
I'm surprised she didn't see the coincidences. Every time she got back with Brian or they were on good terms, the harassment stopped. And let's not forget, he was in college for tech. So it's not surprising he's using all these apps. He's hacking into your Tinder, hacking into all these other dating apps, and it just didn't register. And then soon as, like you said, as soon as she's at her lowest, he's banking on her coming back to him. So now he's hitting you up again.
I feel like he has like a weird fetish though. Like when you with her, you can't stand her. But when you leave her, that's probably why he's so inconsistent, is because he don't know if he want her, or he don't want her, or maybe he just likes the thrill of, chasing her. I don't know. What's a stalker? Any stalkers watching this video? What's the method behind that?
If you're with someone, you shouldn't have to beg them to be with you when you need them the most. Like at your father's funeral, if he wants to be with you during your darkest times, he would be there. You wouldn't give him an ultimatum. You do this or we're going to break up.
Yeah.
He clearly doesn't want to be there and you're just forcing him.
He definitely needs help, for sure.
This is part 3 of how I found out the person I was dating was my stalker. We are now in 2018, okay? Around summer, fall, I literally was on a, you know what, fuck you to my stalker. Again, I don't know who it is, but I'm on a kick of fuck you. Like, you're not going to do this to me. Like, I fucking refuse, okay? I reached out to my friend, and I don't tell her everything, but I tell her enough. At the time, she was dating somebody, and I told her who I thought it was, the person I had a rendezvous with. She came back and gave me this person's full entire name. And I told myself the next time this person text me, I'm going to let them know I know who it is. So that happens. And I say their whole government, and that didn't stop anything, y'all. Because it was not him, okay? The text message that I got back was just whatever. But every time they would text me, I would ignore, and I would reply here and there. This fucked me up, by the way. Replying fucked me up. We will get to that. So summer, fall 2018. Again, on my big fuck you. I meet someone named MC, okay? MC lived in Kansas, Missouri, don't remember. I was in Florida. MC was the sweetest person I have ever in my life met. And MC and I, we were dating, but not really dating, but I had feelings, MC had feelings, and that was that. During the time that me and MC were talking, I wasn't getting that many messages. And then about a month or two, the messages started. What was different was that the messages I was getting were iCloud messages impersonating MC. So it literally was MC@iCloud.com. And what MC was saying in this iCloud message was far different from what we were talking about. So I was very confused. So I call, I'm like, bro, what's going on? Why are you texting me this stuff? Like, what's happening? MC was like, that's not me. I sent a screenshot to MC. MC said, I don't even have an iCloud. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Brian hits me up and says, hey, who do you have texting my phone? Screenshots and sends me a message with this MC iCloud email. At this point, I'm starting to lose trust in MC. Brian was starting to look way more trustworthy than MC was. But MC had to tell me, what do I possibly have to gain texting your ex? I don't know anything about tech. Like, I need you to trust me. Based on my character, based on what you know about me, why would I do this? Would I do this? And I was like, no, you actually would not do that. Like, I'm bugging. I really am bugging. MC and I do not work out, though I still have respect, love, and appreciation for MC. He's probably watching this. We didn't work out. Now, at this point, the messages start to ramp up. I had to change my number 4 times. I lied. It was probably about 6 or 7 times. I changed it 4 times in 1 month. Now, if you have ever had to change your number because of a stalker, they give you 2 free changes, and then every other time you're gonna have to pay. So I had to cough up some bread, and it still wouldn't stop. I'm confiding in Brian. I'm like, bro, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know what to do. Brian was like, have you tried this?
So Brian is getting every new number because you're still texting him.
Yeah.
Okay.
At this time, she don't know it's Brian, though, you know. She's still thinking it's somebody else. It's because she got too many partners. It's because you're just moving too fast. You know, it'd be a lot simpler if we didn't have so many moving pieces.
Why does this stalker keep getting my new number? Who is the only one still in connection with you throughout all of these number changes?
Yeah. That's when them crime shows start to really, you know, take effect. Where my detectives at? Don't tell me you wouldn't notice that.
And
that's
then,
on all the people too.
And then the new guy says, I'm not even tech savvy like that, so how could I do this? But you know somebody that was a tech major.
That would have been wait, tech savvy. That would have hit me like a storm. Like, bro, is it this dude right here? Tech savvy. Hold on, that's a good key word. The fuck? Yeah.
And then the only one who is also getting text messages from this iCloud is Brian.
It was a smart move by Brian, though, to make himself be a victim in the situation, because she gonna be like, oh, okay, it can't be Brian now because they're texting Brian now. He done text everybody. Brian getting smarter throughout the story.
Okay, now, I know we all been young, but this oblivious? Have you ever been in a situation like this where the enemy was right in your face? Because, wow.
Right up under your nose.
Have you tried that? I'm trusting him because he's the tech guy. He's the IT person. I then reach out to my best friend and I'm telling my best friend everything. My best friend said, just get a new phone. I'm like, damn, yeah, let's get a fucking new phone. I go to the store. I said, I do not want this anymore. Can I get something else? I decided I didn't even want an iPhone, so I got myself an Android. I got myself a Galaxy, whatever the case may be. Then, once it all changed, I got a new phone and stuff. I'm talking to Brian and my best friend, and I tell Brian, like, yeah, I got a new phone. No, goodbye to FaceTime, but I think this is the best change. And he literally goes nuts on me. He's like, why would you get a new phone? Like, who told you to get a new phone? Like, who are you listening to? I'm like, my best friend. He's also in tech. He was like, no, like, that's the worst thing. Androids are not better than iPhones when it comes to this security issue. And I'm just like, wait, what? He literally sows so much fear in me that I went back to the store and I gave back the phone because you had like 7 days or something. And I put the SIM back in my old phone. I'm like, okay, like, all right, I'm back to this. I'm trusting this man. Things slowed down with the messages. Brian and I are still kind of friends, still not, doing too much, but we're still kind of friends. With the messages going from every day to every other day, I'm thinking this person has finally gotten over me. I'm like, perfect, because I'm not all that. I go out, and if you are from Miami, Florida, you guys remember Cafe Iguanas when they had brunch. I go out with my sorority sisters and some people that I know, and I meet this guy, and we're going to call him Mr. Mr. and I were very toxic, but the toxic that I liked. Please don't judge. Wait. He had his own place. He had a child from a previous relationship. He was slightly in his career, but he was just a good man, regardless of us being toxic for one another. Okay. One morning, after I had spent the night with Mr., I get a WhatsApp message of my car in front of Mr.'s place saying, I hope you're willing to die behind that dick. Y'all still thinking about it? I get really, really emotional because I was fucking terrified. My vehicle, my fucking car. Mr. lived about 30 minutes from my house. And this message was sent around like 7 in the morning. Do you know how fucking dedicated you have to be to fucking follow me? Mr. was in the bathroom, came out, he says, hey man, you got people texting me. I said, I'm so sorry. I'm literally very emotional. I'm apologizing. And so I had to tell him everything. And I was like, I don't know who this is.
Okay, I'm starting to think he got her iPhone hooked up to his account. I'm starting to think every time she get a message, he knows. Because how is he getting everybody else's number?
No, for real. And he also probably has her location.
Yeah. No wonder he was so hot about her keeping an iPhone, because he got your location. He got your location. Well, she should know if he got her location, because there's no way you can have my location on my iPhone. I don't know. But
I mean, you gotta go to the, I guess.
Yeah, you go to find my iPhone and you'll see all the people who trace it.
He's a tech savvy person. I'm pretty sure he can get through a lot of shit. You can get people's Google location. Like, there's a lot of ways around it.
That's true. He could ping you from other locations. Yeah, app. If he's tech savvy, yeah, he can definitely.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
A lot of apps you guys have.
Yeah.
If you don't turn off your location, anyone can find you.
No, for real. Turn them locations off. But it definitely sounds like he has. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? That feature in Apple there where you can, and you won't know this is happening. You won't know if you're the person. Yeah, if somebody's texting your phone, it can go straight to another phone. Like it just getting forwarded to another phone. I believe that's the case. And the reason why he didn't want her to switch from Apple to Android, because those two different servers. You won't be able to do that with your phone, an Apple and an Android. Just saying. So if you ever in this situation, just think, all right? Think a little bit. If you in a toxic relationship, make sure your messages are not getting forwarded to the other phone. If you ever getting caught on stuff you trying to realize how you know or how she know, that message probably getting forwarded to the other phone. Just saying.
She didn't think that was weird, that he was really hell-bent over the fact that she traded in a phone because she listened to the other tech friend. That probably will give her the best advice because, yes, she's a tech also.
You know what I mean? But the thing about WhatsApp, and this is where this motherfucker fucked up. Think about WhatsApp. You have to have a real ass number. Back then, you had to have a real ass number. So I took that number. I got home. I drove home. I took that number and I did reverse phone lookup. Guess what comes back? Brian's sister's name, his home address. The past 3 years start speeding and playing over and over and over again in my head. What do? I text him and I cuss him out. He calls me and I'm ignoring all of his calls. Every last one of them. He's leaving me voice messages and he is fucking crying, hysterical, telling me, how could this be me? I was home. No, I was out doing deliveries like that. You just told me that you weren't home, meaning you could have definitely drove by and took pictures of my fucking car. Are you fucking crazy? Crying, sobbing, you gotta believe me, you gotta believe me. No, I do not. I go to my cousin's place, I print out every single thing, and I take my ass to the police station. I would like to file a police report. They take everything. I tell the officer, and I said, I don't know how he's doing it. She said, he might have just mirrored your phone. I said, excuse me? She's like, yeah. Known your location, known who you were texting, known all your passcodes to all of your sites. He just mirrored your phone. What?
My thing is, how does she not know? Like, when you're transferring phones over and they got to send stuff to your old phone, if anybody's been locked out of their iPhone, they should know this. That's when they sync the messages. And the phone place tells you, because if you're getting passwords sent to the old number and you're switching over numbers, they'll tell you to sync them.
I don't understand why you ain't been do that. If somebody randomly texts me saying some crazy stuff, that's my first move. If I don't know who you are, I will figure you out. Like, it's not hard to trace people.
Okay, this is part 4 of how I found out the person I was dating was my stalker. We last left off at me at the police station with the police officer telling me that my ex may have mirrored my phone. Brian may have mirrored my phone. Let's pause and rewind just a little bit. Brian was blowing up my phone. We've already discussed this. We know this already. Blowing up. Back then, and I don't know if iPhone still does this, but back then, if you block somebody and they leave you a voicemail, you can still listen to it. Like, it would just be in a different folder, right? So I listened to this one voicemail, and Brian was very, very, very convincing. He says, I can literally send you a video of me leaving my house so you can see that I was nowhere near, whoever's home at the time that you think I'm at. I am wavering in my belief. Stabler and Benson would be super ashamed of me. Do you hear me? Morgan and fucking Spencer Reed would literally slap the hell out of me. So I'm sitting on all this information and I'm like, I need to speak to somebody and let them hear everything that I have. Now, I want you to be aware, not everybody knew how bad I was being harassed, how bad I was being stalked. And that's because of the stuff Brian, or my stalker, was doing that affected a lot of my friendships, okay? FYI, I have not given you guys the whole entire story. I'm giving you guys a very shortened story because the things that I went through is way worse than what I'm telling you guys right now. I just want y'all to be aware of this. All the information that I have, I go to my brothers and I'm like, I have to speak to somebody because I feel like I'm losing my mind, okay? I have to. So I tell my brothers everything. And I'm like, am I crazy? Is it really him? My brothers say they would have disowned me. They was like, you are acting dumb as hell. Like I can't even think and imagine that you and I have the same mother and father. So like, okay, I am bugging. Okay, like this is really what's happening. Okay. In this conversation, my brother said, when did this all start? And I told them. They said, okay, yeah, that's around the time our brother and I also got photos of you. I said, I'm sorry. This person sent my pictures to everyone that was a male in my contact list. Now that was the push I needed to go file a fucking police report. So it is at the police station. I had to go to one. They said, okay, this didn't happen in our jurisdiction, so you have to go to the jurisdiction that you had all this stuff going on. So I went there. That's when I gave them everything. Every piece of evidence that I had, I gave it to them, okay? That's when the police officer said, he may be mirroring your phone. I said, how can he do that? Like, what could I have done for him to do that? They said, was he ever alone with your phone? Now, at first I thought, well, he was only alone with my phone when we first, got together. Like, this has been happening since 2016. Then I paused and I remembered. Remember in part 1, I said I had left my phone, went to the restroom, and it came back, and then we talked and he dipped? That was winter 2015. So he could have easily mirrored my phone. It's winter 2015. The police officer says, do you want to press charges? I said, absolutely. Do you know his address? Absolutely. He gives me the whole thing. He said, cyber cases, because it's so new, the law has not really caught up. There are just some laws that are in your favor and you may be able to win. What do you want? I said, I want a restraining order. I don't want this person to contact me ever again, period, ever. He gets served paper. I have to tell my cousin, hey, can your husband, who's a security guard, okay, and a bodyguard, so he's licensed to do all this stuff. I said, can he take me to the courthouse on this day? Because I don't feel safe with anybody else. Like, and he's a big motherfucker. I'm just gonna let y'all know right now. He's a big ass man. She said, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Now, during this time, the messages stop. Now, if it wasn't you, Brian, why did the messages suddenly stop the moment I accuse you? And now you're served papers. Tell me. Now, with the papers, I was granted a temporary restraining order. So maybe that was, I don't know. But my case was building. It is now court day. My cousin-in-law, he comes, he picks me up. He's asked me, how are you feeling? Are you good? I said, I'm nervous. I'm scared as hell. I don't even want to look at this person. He said, I got you. You don't got to worry about it. You're fine. I said, okay. Okay. I walk in and I'm praying he does not show up, because if he didn't show up, then I would be granted the restraining order, period. So I was hoping and praying he didn't show up. God said you haven't been paying your tithes in a while, so that motherfucker showed up. I said, okay, got it. Don't worry about it. My heart dropped to the crick of my ass when I seen this guy. And I'm immediately just disgusted with myself. I'm like, I literally trusted and thought you were a friend. And I thought at a point of time you were my man. But no, you're a fucking sicko. The judge is up there, and it's like, I think it was two of them, and asked me, okay, what's going on? And I lay out everything, okay, as quickly and as fast as I can. And I provide all of the evidence. The key evidence being the I hope you ready to die behind that dick message, tying it into his sister's number and his address, doing reverse phone lookup. Okay, that was the key piece of evidence because it tied Brian to everything, okay? The judge is looking through all of the text messages and says, you're saying you're in fear of your life? I said, absolutely. So then why did you respond to him? I said, what? It's like, yeah, you responded. Why did you respond? I said, because I was fed up. I was pissed because I didn't know what was happening. He said, well, a mad person, and a scared person aren't the same. I'm like, what are we saying right now? Then he paused and he asks Brian, like, what do you have to say for yourself? What's your case? How are you defending yourself? Brian gives him some bullshit. I don't remember, but I remember the whole time I was staring at my foot and I was just enraged. I'm just like, you're fucking disgusting. Anyway, the judge says, there is a lot of evidence here, but there isn't anything concrete because the reverse phone lookup wasn't done by an investigator, like a certified investigator. So he couldn't charge Brian. I said, excuse me? He's seen my face fall and he was like, I'm so sorry that you had to go through this. And then looks at Brian and says, son, I'm going to give you a piece of advice. A restraining order will ruin your whole entire life. If this is you, you must stop. You will not get hired for any job. You can't live in places you want to live. You can't go anywhere. There are multiple women in this world. Leave this one alone if this is you. Brian looks at the judge and said, yes, sir. I'm pissed as fucking hell. So he dismisses us. I wait for Brian to leave because I didn't even want to fucking be near him. I get to my cousin-in-law and I just start weeping. I'm like, what if this starts all over again? I don't know what to do. And he says, now that you know everything, it won't. So I got a new phone. I got a new number. I got a new iCloud. That really pissed me off because almost all of my pictures were on my old iCloud. And I was too afraid to sync anything because I didn't know if it would allow him to mirror my new phone. The whole entire experience left me so fucking traumatized. I'm extremely anxious that I can't leave my phone anywhere. My phone stays with me everywhere I go. It just does. Like I said earlier, I gave y'all the most shortened version of what happened. There are way more things that happened, and I just didn't want to give you guys a 10-part story. But I'm down to answer any questions if any of you guys have any. But yeah, I'm currently in therapy because of how bad my anxiety is. So yeah, thank you for listening.
But yeah, Messy family, that's going to wrap up this story time for today. If you guys are interested in following this creator for more updates, you already know what to do. Check out that description box below and you can follow her for more updates. But that's all we have in this story, Messy family. Don't forget to let us know in the comment section what are your thoughts, what is the advice that you can give this creator, and we will see you in the next story time.